Hello, welcome or welcome back. Today I wanted to share an experience that I had recently around the impact of telling the old story and how that can play out in your present, because I know that's something that we all fall into every now and then, myself included. But when we continue to tell the old stories, it does have an impact on the present. So that's what we're talking about today. Stick around. Hello, welcome. For those of you who are new, my name is Hedley and I am a qualified life coach. I'm an author and I am super passionate about the amazing teachings of the law of assumption as originally taught by the great American mystic Neville Goddard. I'm a little tired. I'm in the process of moving. It is the stories that we tell that create our life. So if you want to change any part of your life, you have to start by changing the story first. And if you want to create the most amazing life, then you need to know how to tell the most amazing stories. It all starts with the stories we tell. That's where these incredible teachings can really help. And that is why I am here. I want to help you to tell better stories so you can have a better reality. Because hey, that's why we're all here. Now, there are a number of different ways you can work with me. I have one-to-one coaching. I also have email coaching. It's actually called Quick Coaching. And I also have a free 21-day Set Yourself Up with the Ultimate Self-Concept course, which is the ultimate story that you want to be telling. And I am on Instagram. All of those details you will find in the comments box below, so check that out. Okay, let's get into it. Hey, so today I wanted to share with you a personal experience I had just the other day about a woman I met and the conversation that we had. I want to share that with you because I think it really highlights the power of what happens when we can continue to tell the old stories. But just before I get into that, I did want to make a point that I forgot to make in my other video around knowing what it is that you want, and I'll put that up here if you haven't watched that, so just maybe go back and watch that. The question was what to do, like what should you do when you don't know what you want? Because obviously knowing what you want is very important in these teachings, because where your consciousness goes is where reality knows to, in terms of what to reflect back. So it is important that you know what you want, but there are times where you don't know what you want. So the other technique that I just wanted to share with you around that is, if you don't know what you want, hold the assumption that you know what you want, because it is the assumptions that then get reflected back in our reality. So if you don't yet know what you want, does not matter. Just hold the assumption that you do know and persist with that assumption. Just know that you know, and at some point you will know what you want. So that was just another point that I did forget to mention in that other video, which has really helped me, because there are sometimes I don't know what I want, and I know that I want something in a certain area of my life, but I'm not sure of the specifics. So what I do is I just assume that I know. I just know what I want, even if I don't. You just have to hold the assumption. That's how this works. Anyway, so today I wanted to share with you this experience that I had. And I just want to preface it by saying there's no judgment in any of this. I don't hold judgment to people. And when I do the work within myself, because I know that they're me pushed out. And even this experience, this woman is me pushed out, and I still had to do the work because she's in my movie. And so I had to shift the vision that I was holding of her, because she's me. So I want the best for everyone in my movie. I want the best for myself, which means that I have to hold everyone to their highest vision. I went to this new coffee place, and on the way there's like a little furniture shop, and great little furniture shop. I've seen it a couple of times and I've wanted to go in there. So I thought, I'll just stop in there because I have nothing. That's not true. I have some things. I have a few cushions, which actually I bought from her. I have a table, I have chairs, I have a bed, a mattress. You know, it's a process, this moving in thing. It's fun. But anyway, so I went to her shop and I walked in and I said, hi. Now, where I live, obviously many of you know, we've had the worst floods in our history, and so many people have lost everything. So wherever you go, everybody asks, are you okay? Like, were you affected? How did you go? It's like the first thing you say when you meet. Everybody's talking to everybody. So I walked in and I knew that the area had flooded, and I knew a lot of people had gone under. So I said to her, how did you go? Are you okay? Anyway, she then opened up and shared her story. Now, her story was a pretty horrendous one. She had recently lost her marriage about a few years ago. Her husband had kept the house. She had moved into the place and she'd been in there for 6 months. She'd done it all up, and then it flooded. She lost everything. and now she doesn't have anywhere to live. And this story just kind of went on and on and on. And it was, you know, like your heart goes out to these people because like the stories are pretty harrowing that you hear. I was just standing there, and there's, you know, there's not much you can say other than just to listen, because a lot of these people have been traumatized. They've gone through a trauma, and you can tell that they just want to talk. And so I was just listening and asking questions. And what was interesting was the story that she was telling, and again, I want to say there's no judgment with this, there's only compassion. However, you know, as a result of these teachings, I know that we are all the creators of our reality, and we create our reality based on the stories that we tell. Now, this story got worse and worse and worse, because not only did she share her recent experience with the floods, but she then started to share all the other things that were going on in her life that had gone wrong. And she just went, oh, like it just all came out. And she actually said to me, she's like, I mean, I don't know what's going on. Like, how is this happening? She actually asked that question. Now, I don't share this stuff with anyone unless I feel that it's okay. And I didn't feel that it was appropriate with her. So all I said was, you know, things have a way of working out. You're super resilient. You're obviously really strong and amazing. And I know things are going to work out for you. And so that's kind of all I said. But she was like, I just don't understand what's happening. Like, how is everything just going so wrong for me? And then in my mind, I was asking the same question. Like in my mind, I was like, what's the story that she has about herself that is causing reality to continually reflect back just one awful thing after the other? And without me saying anything, she answered her own question by suddenly going, oh, there's something else I want to share with you. And she turned around and she grabbed a pen and she wrote on a card, and she handed me her business card, and she said, this is my other business. I speak out about child abuse because I'm a survivor of child abuse. I had like 8 years of like really traumatic child abuse. So I speak out about it and I share my story. And I thought, oh, there it is. And obviously this is a very sensitive matter. The only reason that you want to be telling the old story is in order to change it. If you're telling the old story over and over and over with the same energy, you are going to get that energy reflected back. And she was 100% getting back the energy of victimhood, which is, as a child, you are a victim of child abuse. What she's doing is she's engaging with the same state of consciousness of what happened. And by telling the old story, that story is getting reflected back in her present. Now, she doesn't know that that's what's happening, and it's not my place to tell her. We're all on our own process of awakening, and we all get there. And I know that she will get there, and everyone gets there, because we all are the gods of our reality. There's no way around it. What we do with our imagination and our state of consciousness is what will create our reality, and we will all figure it out eventually. And it just doesn't matter how long it takes. We'll just go round and round and round until we all get it. And we're all helping each other in that awakening process. So all I could do was to hold her in the highest vision, and I could see her in her beautiful home. I could see her happy. I could see her with a beautiful partner, because she, you know, she'd lost a marriage, and I could see her children happy, and I could see her in this beautiful home. And I just saw her in the vision that I know that she would want for herself. And that was all I did. I didn't talk about it. I didn't say anything. All I said was, look, I'm really sorry for everything that you've been through, but you know, you're obviously a really amazing person. You are very resilient, and I have no doubt that things are going to work out for you somehow, some way. I just said, magic happens, you know, we don't know how it happens. You know, that's all I said. I kept it really general, but in my mind, I was holding her in a really high vision. But I wanted to make this video because I could see where she was creating her reality by talking about the past and reliving it over and over and over. And yes, that is part of the healing process, that we need to tell the old stories so that we can awaken from them and move beyond them. But if you're telling the old story without any kind of awareness of wanting to change it or realizing that you can change it, then you are going to create the same state of consciousness in your present. You are that powerful. There's no way around your power. There's just no way around it. And I know that that's a story that a lot of people want to tell and they want to talk about it. I used to write articles and I used to talk in the media about it. Like, you know, I was there. No wonder I was creating the same sort of patterns in my life. And now that I know that, I've been able to revise those stories and create a different state of consciousness that then creates a different reality that is no longer my reality. And at some point it won't be her reality either. But just that is the power of telling the old stories. So I would just encourage you to look at what are the stories that you're still telling from your past. If they're unfavorable, I suggest going back and revising them to Being favorable. What would you like to have happened instead? What should have happened instead? Because obviously no one wants those traumatic experiences for themselves or their children. They are horrendous, they're awful. They are also set up by us so that we could overcome them and awaken into who we truly are. But that's pretty advanced. And some people aren't there yet, and that is okay. I wasn't there for a very long time, and I'm very compassionate towards every single person. I don't have any judgment because I was there myself. I know, like, if you don't know, you don't know. And you also kind of don't want people telling you, like, you have to figure it out yourself, unless you want people telling you. Then you go looking for it. Just be aware of what are the stories you're telling, and if you find yourself telling an old story from your past, just catch yourself. Be very gentle with yourself. No judgment, no guilt, no blame, no shame, no none of that. That's not this game. Just pull back a little bit, maybe revise the story if you want to. I would suggest doing that, and then get back out there and just, maybe try not telling that story again the next time. Again, it's a process of awakening. We're all on it, but stick with it because you're amazing. And that's all I wanted to share. So please remember, you are the creators of your reality. You are the superstar of your show. You are the producer, the writer, the director, and the actor in your movie. What you assume to be true will be so. So assume the best for you, assume the best for everyone in your movie too, and you will have an amazing life. And this is my wish, my vision, my prayer for you. I will look forward to seeing you next time. Please feel free to share, comment, and like, and whatever else. And if you'd like to subscribe to my channel, I would love to have you. Okay, thanks. Bye.